welcome to this month's Senior Circuit. I'm so excited. We have a great guest today, Bryan Bishop, who is our new Veteran Service Officer. Bryan, welcome aboard.
Thank you,
3-month anniversary.
Yes, coming up, yeah.
What an appropriate day to come aboard, Pearl
Absolutely.
Harbor Day. Bryan, tell me, are you loving Somerville?
Absolutely, Cindy. It's been great. It's fast. There's a lot going on. Working with our veterans, getting to know people, getting to know the city, getting to know the lay of the land, so to speak. And everyone's been very welcoming, very engaging. I think the word went out that there's actually a new director of Veteran Services in Somerville, so my phone's been ringing off the hook, and Kathy's been scheduling people in, and I've been going out to people's homes and visiting with them, especially our seniors. With the weather being as cold as it has been, even though you wouldn't know it the last couple of days, but going out and getting to know them on their turf and being able to let them know that I'm here for them, and let all of our veterans know that I'm here for them, no matter if they served in World War II or if they're just returning from Iraq and Afghanistan. So yeah, it's been great so far, and I'm really looking forward to some great things to do here in Somerville.
The nice thing is that, you know, you talked a little bit about doing home visits. The vets that I've talked to that come to our center all the time, they have been so excited about that. It's been a great way for them to get to know you. Absolutely. And it is difficult for them to get out. And they also want that privacy. You know, they also feel coming into an office sometimes, people hear things, and so they love that. That is such a great event for them, for you to be able to come out to their house. Absolutely. And, you know, it's really a nice gesture. How have you been receiving that?
Very well. A lot of them are telling me, they're like, you know, we weren't sure when you said you would come to our house. We thought, you know, you were just saying that, but you're actually coming to our house. And I go, of course I will. And it is. Sometimes it's hard to get down to 50, you know, Evergreen Ave, and either to get into the building or just find time to get there or brave the cold or whatever. But for me to come out there, I think that shows them that I actually do care, and that their comfort and, you know, their needs are what's paramount to me, not mine.
Well, we have a monthly breakfast, and yesterday you were a guest on a monthly breakfast as well. And I have never heard such silence in my senior center. They were so interested in your message and what you had to say. Do you want to share a little bit of that, what you talked about?
I think one of the biggest message that I can bring as a veteran service officer, but also as a veteran myself, is that this country was founded on service. It was founded on those who were willing to put aside their own lives, raise their right hand, take an oath to this country, and go out and fight to defend freedom. Some of them were lucky to come home, some of them weren't. And that's what we do when we think about our veterans. And I think we get away from that sometimes, to make sure that the message that I have is very clear, that the service and sacrifice of our veterans is so important to the lifeblood of this country. And people, as we start to get away from Iraq, Afghanistan, just the way we got away from Vietnam, people tend to forget. And my job as a veteran service officer, as a director of veteran service officer of veteran services, and as a veteran, is to ensure that every single person I come in contact with knows that a veteran, it's because of a veteran that we have the freedoms we have today. And that's what makes this country so great.
Well, I'll tell you, coming from a military family, my husband's in the Marine Corps, my son-in-law was in the Marine Corps, my grandson was in the Army, and on his 21st birthday was in Iraq and was injured in an IED accident. And it really hits home when I hear you say those wonderful positive things about how excited you are to be a VSO here in the city, and how wonderful it is. And I know how important it is to have somebody on your side. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
You talk a little bit about what services you provided yesterday. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, the service that we have is, of course, Chapter 115. And everybody's like, what is Chapter 115? Chapter 115 is a financial assistance program geared strictly towards veterans and their families, those families who may be facing homelessness or near homelessness, seniors who are on fixed incomes who need a little help, those people coming back who might need a little help getting started, people coming out of rehab, veterans who've been dealing with those struggles and issues such as PTSD, substance abuse, psychological, emotional, and mental problems. Chapter 115 is there for them. And Massachusetts is the only state in the nation, little Massachusetts, that has a law on the books, this is Mass General Law Chapter 115, that guarantees a veteran service officer in every city and town across this Commonwealth, and that there will be a veteran service officer there to administer these services to our veterans.
And the nice part about this is that, we're under the umbrella, you and I, of the Health and Human Services Department. And the nice part is that, it doesn't just stop with you. You may be talking to a veteran who says, I run out of food every month. My oil can't get paid. And so you're able to pass them along to the right person. Maybe it's Nancy Batra in Human Services or myself in Council on Aging. So it's a nice way for us to all blend together. And that's really a comfortable role that we haven't had for a long time.
I think a lot of that too is that I know Somerville put veterans under HHS recently in the last year. Boston's always had it that way, or at least for the last 15 or 20 years. And it works because what we do is we tear down stovepipes. We tear down walls and barriers because, like you said, I might have a veteran who could use some senior services, who might need human services. I might have a veteran who has kids in the schools who may need help with them, so I can move it to the public school system. There's somewhere for a veteran, there's veterans everywhere. And they're in they're interwoven in the fabric of each community and into our nation. So to separate our veterans and just put them off in a corner somewhere does not help us. But what we're doing now is we're opening up wonderful conversations with people in other departments and in other parts of the city that will guarantee that there's someone there all the time to help a veteran, no matter who they are. And like I said before, it's a great program. It's a great way for us to share ideas and to share what we do every single day that we're proud of, and to make sure that our veterans are taken care of and their families are taken care of.
And it really is a great philosophy, something that the Council on Aging has been doing for a long time because we have a nice contingency of veterans. And we've had a veterans group for many years, and we've always been involved in bringing the VA in to speak and letting them know all their benefits and doing all this. So it does help to have a VSO officer who is a veteran service officer who is right there to help us. So it's really great. So thank you for that. We're going to take a minute. This is when you get your pen and paper and see all the wonderful events we have. Can you imagine we're already talking about December? We'll be right back.
I get no kick from champagne. Mere alcohol doesn't thrill me at all. So tell me, why should it be true that I get a kick out of you? Some get a kick from cocaine. I'm sure that if I took even one sniff, that would bore me terrifically too. Yet I get a kick out of you. I get a kick every time I see you're standing there before me. I get a kick, though it's clear to me you obviously don't adore me. I get no kick in a plane flying too high with some guy in the sky is my idea of nothing to do. Yet I get a kick out of you.
Welcome back. We're talking about all the great events we have at the Council on Aging. It's February already. Beautiful weather outside. Hopefully the snow will stay away. Can't guarantee it, but we don't have too much longer for winter. But we have some wonderful things happening at the Council on Aging. We're speaking with Bryan Bishop, who is the new Veteran Service Officer. His 3-month anniversary is coming up. And already you've done so much, I don't know where to begin. Asking the questions. I have a million questions for you. Tell me, what do you see as issues between the older and younger vets? Are they the same? Are they different? What do you see? What's going on out there?
I think you see a lot of the same issues. Most of the time what I see are financial issues. In the past, it's always been if you needed financial assistance, you went and saw your VSO. What we're looking at now is more of an integration between the generations. The younger vets, they need financial help too, but they also may need emotional support. They may be suffering from PTSD. They may be suffering, like I said before, from substance abuse. They may need jobs. They may need housing. But our seniors have the same issues. And we're finding out a lot more that seniors who are suffering from PTSD, who never had it treated, are starting to have problems with it now. And when I worked for the VA, very short, 4 months I was there, I actually had a gentleman who was 92 years old, sent me a handwritten letter stating how he was raped in basic training in 1941. And he dealt with it his entire life through 3 divorces, through substance abuse, through just depression, because he never dealt with it. We're finding that in our seniors, but we also find it in our younger troops. Our younger troops are actually a little bit more adept to handle it now, because the VA, when these people get out of the service, they come to visit them before they get out and say, you need to file a claim. So we're trying to get them help before they get out so they don't fall into the same problems that our seniors have.
Well, the difference also is that you didn't talk about it.
No.
You kept it quiet.
Absolutely.
Even at the beginning of Operation Desert Storm, when the guys came home, it was, they're fine, there's no problems, there's no issues, and then all of a sudden you're reading the paper and, Marine shoots up, out and a building outside, this happens, that happens. So they just were not taught to share their experience.
Exactly.
And now you're saying, talk about it.
Absolutely.
Tell me
well,
what's going
we're
on.
talking about, veteran suicide rate at 22 a day, which is unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
And the number hasn't really gone down, even though we've gotten a lot more outreach, a lot more crisis lines. The communities are getting more involved now. We have vet centers, in Boston and in a lot of towns, a lot of the major cities across the country. The VA has a hotline for suicide prevention. But the problem actually lies closer to home, because a lot of people who are considering taking their own life, they're not going to get on the phone and call somebody and wait online for somebody to talk to them. They're either going to do it or they're not. And I think where we have family support, more, getting families more involved, letting them see the signs, know what the signs are. If you have a veteran loved one who is despondent, who is suffering from depression, they are going to be a lot more, prone to attempt suicide or complete it. And I think that now, more than ever, we have to rally around at the local level to ensure that our veterans are taken care of.
And I think something you said yesterday that struck a chord with me was, I want to get to know the veteran when he goes into basic.
Absolutely.
So if you know somebody in the city who's joining the military, who's joining the reserves, whatever it is, tell me, because that connection gets them started right at the very beginning.
Absolutely. I want them registered with us before they go. And a lot of it really has to do with not only with the veteran, but the family. Because while they're away at basic training and they're training and they're deployed maybe or whatnot, that family's sitting here and they're like, what's going on? But if they can look at our Facebook page, which is going to be hopefully live soon, our Facebook page or the website, city's website, and say what's going on with our veterans, that it'll help them feel better. They'll know someone they can call. And but also too, we want to kind of show the kids off when they come back. Call up to the mayor's office and say, hey, we got soldier so-and-so's home. Got 5 minutes, do a photo op and give them a certificate or a coin or something that lets them know that Somerville is proud of them. But also when they come home and when their service is done, that we wrap our arms around them and we help them get jobs. We help them find housing. We help them with anything that they need. We get them services and refer them out if we have to, so that they know that one-stop shopping starts in my office. And I'm going to make sure that I do everything I can to ensure that every single veteran who lives in this city knows that I am dedicated and committed to ensure that they are successful, that they're safe, that their lives actually have meaning, so that because they're honored for what their service has been to this country. That's what a veteran service officer does. And as I told the mayor very briefly, I don't run my office from behind my desk. It's in the community. It's knowing people. It's networking. And that's what we're doing here now. So I think that this all ties into an ability for one person to be kind of, like I said, a referral management center. They come to me. If I can't answer it, I know somebody who can. So that's how we're going to be successful here in Somerville.
And you know, you said treating the family as well as the soldier or Marine or a SEAL or whatever it is so true because, again, going way back when the Desert Storm has happened, I ran a support group and I had mothers who were like, I'm going to get on the plane, I'm going to Iraq. And it's like, calm down, you can't go to Iraq. You know, so it's talking to the families and calming them, especially if they've never been a part of a military family. It's a culture shock to them.
It really is.
And I'm losing my baby, you know, so it is having that relationship to calm them down, to talk to them, and there may be services that are available for them from you.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think a lot with the families is more about just having someone to talk to. You know, to be able to either call you up, you know, a lot of times for me, my situation would be if they call me up, I say, okay, I'll come to the house and sit down with them and say, look, here's what's going on. You know, if you need me to contact somebody, I will. But it's a lot of times just a friendly voice. Because, I mean, we both know, you call the VA, you know, they're like, we'll set a phone appointment for you for like 2 years from now, you know, type thing.
Exactly.
It's actually gotten better, but still, I mean, but
One
it's
and a
true.
half years.
Yeah, true. But I mean, I think a lot of it is it's the unknown. It's the fear of the unknown. You know, when your family member, whether it be your son, your daughter, your husband, your wife, whoever is deployed, sometimes you just want to hear a voice who understands what you're going through.
A voice of reason.
And a voice of reason, yes.
Right.
And a lot of times
okay.
you just sit there and let them vent.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I haven't heard from my son or daughter in 6 weeks, and you know, how come I haven't got a letter and they're in basic and what's going on? And it's like, calm down, relax, it's
Exactly.
okay.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about technology.
Okay.
I had to help a client through the whole VA system. Boy, was that difficult.
Yeah. It's gotten a lot better, I have to say. When I was in Boston, we didn't really handle VA cases that much, only because the JFK building was right next door to us.
Sure.
So we just sent them over there. What I'm finding now, you have what's called e-benefits, where you can actually apply for your benefits right there. It's menu driven. My job now is to sit down with those people before they do that and mess the system up. Because they make, you know, you make small mistakes and all of a sudden your progression in that system stops. Or worse, your claim goes to the bottom of the pile. So first of all, just to find out what they're looking for, see what documentation they have, see where we need to go. And now I actually have people that I call in Boston that I will talk to and they will walk me through it so we make sure that we're doing the right thing by the veteran. Like I said, I did it for 4 months. I actually was on the other side. I was the guy sitting there with all the files and I was going through saying, okay, denied, 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 or approved, 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 which has got a lot more approves now than we had denials, which is great. But I think that the technology is great for the younger kids. Our seniors, it's still a struggle. And I think that a lot of them too don't remember. When you're talking about records that are 40 or 50 years old, it's hard to find. And of course, we had a big fire in St. Louis in '73 that wiped out. In fact, I think the entire Army lost their records from '73 back. Yes. So they were having to recreate records because of the big fire. So that's my big push for digitization of files. Get them on a server.
Absolutely, someplace safe.
Absolutely. Right. But it's gotten a lot better. And you know, I put myself out there to actually help anyone who actually needs the help, technology-wise.
Well, and I know when I called, it was the person got on the phone with me and they said, okay, get a pen and paper. You need E-form VA-12-2. You need this form, you need that form. But call this number because then you need that form. It was so confusing. There was not like a streamline of events that you could, okay, you click here, get the file. Yeah. So it took me, I was on the phone for about an hour and 45 minutes.
That's a short one.
Yeah, I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So it's great that you're able to help them with that. And as you said, the older folks, they may not even have a computer at home.
Right.
So be able to come into your office and help or, you know, figure out what they need and then bring them out to them to fill them out.
Well, I mean, I can take my laptop out and do it at home. And I will go out to certain locations like the North Street Mass Bay Veteran Center.
Let's talk a little bit about that. That was my next question.
I'm actually going to start holding office hours there once a month.
Awesome.
Because it's important. I mean, they can come to my office, most of them, but it's always nicer to be able to like walk out of your room and walk down the hall and I'm sitting there and say, well, what do you need? I'm trying to develop a relationship with them because that's basically, it's our transitional housing, but it's what I call my homeless shelter because in Boston I had the New England Center,
right.
Which we dealt with them, with all of the homeless shelter cases. But these guys are a little bit above that because they actually are in transition. There are some permanent residents there.
But very few, right?
Very few. The top floor is permanent residents, and then everyone else is pretty much, transitional. But it's important that they know that I'm there for them, just not for Chapter 115. There are people from the VA. Chuck Delaney from the VA comes down every Monday and brings coffee and meets with them. So I think between the VA side and between us, we're definitely creating an environment where they know that they're going to be taken care of, and they know that people actually care about them. So it's a good thing. And I have to stress this. My office is not the VA.
That's for sure.
That is, we are not the VA. We run the state program, but we can, filter
Connect.
people and refer people and connect them to VA services.
That's the most important thing, is
Yes.
connecting them over there.
Absolutely.
We're going to take a short break. We had a great tour of the Somerville Museum. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Janine Lottie, and I'm here with a group from the Somerville Council on Aging at the beautiful Somerville Museum. We're here today to visit the exhibit called Union Square at Work, and we're learning about the history and culture and vibrant life in Union Square.
Somerville was once the meat packing capital of New England. And here we have a map from 1900. So the map we were looking at there was 1852. This one's 1900. And here, do you guys know where the Target is outside of the square? Well, what that Target used to be is New England Dress Meat and Wool, a big meat packing plant. There was also Charles H. North on Medford Street, which was at one time the largest employer in the city of Somerville. And there are folks I interviewed who remember, the livestock coming off the trains at the bottom of Miriam Street, down into the meatpacking plants. So another important company was the Union Glass Company, run by Julian de Cordova, and you might have heard of the de Cordova Museum, which receives over 100,000 guests a year, and it's his old property, Julian de Cordova, who ran Union Glass right in Union Square. And you can see some photos here of glass being made and workers at the glass factory. This is Emily Reichert. She's the executive director of Greentown Labs. It's the largest clean technology incubator in the United States. It has 33,000 square feet, and so they develop their different groups starting companies in the clean energy sector. And so that's in the old Ames Safety Envelope building. And this is my wall of innovators. I'll just name a couple of them. This is Mimi Graney, who was the founding executive director of Union Square Main Streets. And I don't know if you've ever heard of the Fluff Festival in Union Square. So Mimi was one of the people that started the Fluff Festival 10 years ago, because it turns out that Union Square is the home of marshmallow fluff. That's where marshmallow fluff was invented. And this is a puppeteer who has her workspace in the old, what am I trying to say, Evelyn? The next to Market Basket, the old Tube Works building. Tube Works. And then this is Empire Tattoo. This is Annette Thompson, who is a preschool teacher at Bigelow Cooperative, which is outside of Union Square. And she's known she creates these really innovative play areas for the kids. She'll build rockets and market baskets and pirate ships and just places where the kids can feel transported and like they're in another world. And she gets a lot of her materials from the Union Square area. If she sees old crates or boxes, she'll ask, the storekeepers if she can pick them up. And then this is Seth Woodworth at Pirate Ship in the American Tube Works building. It's a place where they have artists and technology people, folks who have PhDs from MIT, and they're working in software. They're doing art. So again, it's a lot of really innovative activities in Union Square.
What a wonderful day they had. It was so exciting to see the Somerville Museum again. If you haven't been, please come join them. It's a wonderful place. It's right off of Central Street. So we're Bryan Bishop, our VSO, our Veteran Service Officer here in Somerville. I'm so excited. As I said, you were at breakfast yesterday morning with us, and I was touting to everybody, you sang like an angel. You sang for us, so I want to thank you. I had goosebumps. It was wonderful. You have such a beautiful voice. So look forward. He's coming to an event. He's going to sing for us at one of the senior programs. So you'll be really interested in seeing that. Bryan, let's talk a little bit about what events are happening out of your office. We know we do the big parade and all the different events, but you have some special things you want to talk about.
Well, I definitely want to talk about Armed Forces Day. When we think about Armed Forces Day, we think about Memorial Day. I always say that Armed Forces Day and Memorial Day, that week is like the Holy Week for veterans.
It is.
Armed Services Day is Palm Sunday and Memorial Day is Easter. So it's kind of a lead up. Last year, my predecessor had a huge ceremony at the high school for our Hero Squares dedications, our street corners dedications. And we're going to do the same thing this year. We have 16 applications in my office waiting for approval. To try to do that across the summer would be difficult. But if we do a single ceremony, and basically what we're going to deem Armed Forces Day for Somerville is Somerville Salutes Its Heroes. That way I can get the mayor there, the secretary. We're actually going to invite the governor. It's going to be one of those things where the entire city comes out to honor those people who've served our country or who have served had been in service in the city, who've done great things. And we will honor them with a sign on the street corner for them. But it's more than that. It's more than just a street corner issue. It is more of a dedication for service. We have to always remember that. So that's going to kick off the week leading up to Memorial Day. We're looking at, of course, the big parade. This has been my first time doing this particular parade, but I've done parades in the past. And procedurally and logistically, hopefully my experience in this is going to make things a lot easier for us, but also make it a great day for everyone involved, including the people working it, but the people who are in it. In 2017, I said this at the last time when I was on the last show, 2017, I am primed to have a concert, a Memorial Day concert down on the river that will capstone the entire week. It will be towards sunset, and it will just have all of this wonderful music and reflection on what Memorial Day really is. And I think a lot of people forget that it's not about summer, it's not about barbecues and beach balls.
That's right.
It is about those people who've served this country and given their lives so that we actually can do things like this. So that's 2017. Also on Armed Forces Day, we're going to do a huge Somerville Salutes Its Military Family. So military families, veteran families, all going to get together on Trump Field. We're going to do a barbecue, a huge services expo, where we're going to bring in a lot of people who have information on different services, where they can get that information. We're going to see if we can get Booty Vortex to come out and play and just do a great thing. So I mean, I really want that week to be filled with veteran-centric events, so that people know, and anyone who's just driving through Somerville, see a banner across the street saying Somerville Salutes Its Heroes. That's what we do. And that Somerville definitely is veteran friendly, that it definitely is committed to honoring the service and sacrifice of those who've given so much to this country.
Well, from one military wife and a military family, I want to just say thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
The military is very important to us. My husband is down in North Carolina. He teaches. He traveled all over the United States after he got out of the military. And it is very important to us. So thank you for all your hard work. I know you've done already. You've been amazing. And I just want to say thank you. And it's leadership from the top up and leadership by example, and the mayor certainly is proud of his military folks. And I know when we were in a military crisis, excuse me, with our family, with my grandson, the mayor was amazing. He couldn't have been a better friend, a better mayor. So
it's an honor to work for him.
It is an honor to work for him. So, but thank you and welcome to our family. It's a great family here in Somerville. And we look forward to working with you more. And you definitely, I'm going to hold you to singing for one of us.
I definitely will.
Okay, great. Until next month, have a great day, and we look forward to seeing you.